chat. Hang around for a minute. I want to talk to you after this. I just want to talk to you after this. Just hang around. We'll hustle up there.
Absolutely.
Oh, your hair's growing out. It's looking great, Chef.
Your hair stays the same.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Thank you. Oh, my.
One for each.
Yes. That's very complete. I can tell.
Hope it's got pictures in it. I like pictures now.
Yes, pictures.
Okay, are we ready to get started? Is it 10 o'clock? 9:58?
2 minutes.
Is there any reason to wait, or you think it's 9:58? Go. Okay. We'd like to thank Juan. He's one of our students. He's in the 11th grade for the videography, and we would like to welcome you, Dr. Bayles. And I was told to use this. Welcome to Haleyville, Dr. Bayles. We are happy to have you with us this morning and hope you enjoyed visiting with our campus sites. I know you have spent the morning with Mr. Houghton and Mr. Chidwell and have met some of our faculty and staff. I wanted to introduce you to the rest of the board. I'm Beth McAlpin, currently serving as board president, and we have Ms. Donna Jones and Mr. Brian Bickery, our board vice president. On behalf of the entire board, we appreciate your interest in our school district. We think it's a great place and think you will too. Today, each of us will rotate turns asking some questions which will help direct our conversation. Our desire is for this time to provide us and you with the opportunity to share ideas and get to know each other better. To get us started, we would like you to take just a few minutes to briefly review your educational and work history.
Thank you. I have been in education for 27 years. I have been a classroom teacher, elementary teacher.
Is that
Is that all one?
How about
It should be. There should be a green light on the top.
Yes, it's on.
It's on. It's on.
It even might be, I don't know if you'd rather, it doesn't matter if you hold it or if you just get close to it.
Yes.
Either way, we're
Is this
flexible.
better?
Yes.
Okay. So I've been in education for 27 years. I've been an elementary teacher, an interventionist, an instructional coach, an instructional partner with the Alabama Best Practice Institute. I've been a high school instructional partner, high school assistant principal, a principal of a primary school, and I currently serve as Director of Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment for Tuscumbia City. My educational background includes a bachelor's degree in elementary education, a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, focusing in reading with my reading specialist degree, a master's degree in instructional leadership, an EDS in instructional leadership, and I just completed my doctorate in instructional leadership from Stanford University.
Okay. It's a lot of education.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a series of these questions, and we know that everybody has the opportunity to prepare for this. But the first question is, what do you see as the role of the superintendent as it relates to employee groups, students, and the community? And how would you characterize your relationships with employee groups in your current position?
Okay. My role with, when I think about employees, my role is to be the leader, the instructional leader. My role is to motivate, inspire, to set expectations, to set our goals and visions while providing them with the support and tools that they need in order to be successful. I also think my role is to be the listener. I think some of the best information comes from teachers and staff and having those conversations. And I think that building relationships with the teachers and faculty and staff are key to success in this position. As far as students are concerned, my role for students is to serve as the person that provides them with a safe learning environment. It is my job to make sure that they have the tools and equipment they need to be successful in the workforce, to make sure that every opportunity affordable to them is made available to them. And as far as the community, I feel like that my job would be to be a bridge builder between the school and the workforce. I think engaging in active conversations with the community and getting feedback from them provides buy-in. on the decisions that we make as a school system, and making sure that being visible and building the relationship with them is key to making our school system successful. And how does it relate? How do I relate to those now? I have a great relationship. I'm a people person, if you haven't noticed. I love people. I love to talk to people. You could survey anyone that I've worked with, and they would let you know that I am supportive, a motivator. I love to inspire people. I'm very positive. I like to work on culture, and I like to make sure that people are actively engaged in whatever activity or community action that I'm working on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome to Haleyville.
Thank you.
My question is, we have 5 quality finalists for this position. As we select a new superintendent for Haleyville City Schools, what are the top 3 strengths and attributes you believe you bring to the table that our district could benefit from?
Yes, ma'am. I know that Haleyville has excellent academics. I've done a lot of research, and I know that they have a great graduation rate, and they have a great CCR rate, have A on the report card. I know all of those things, but I think it's important to have a strong instructional leader in place to continue those things forward. I have a proven track record of being an instructional leader. I have led initiatives in this district, in my district that I'm currently in, as well as the one I was in prior to this one, making sure that whatever focus we're on continues on. I also think that it's important that I'm a collaborative servant leader. That's my thing. I believe that the best ideas are not sole ideas. You have to have collaboration with all stakeholder groups, partnerships. I prefer being a servant leader. I think it's my job to inspire versus dictate. So that's something that I think is important based on the goals and some of the survey feedback that I read for your district. I think it's important not to be a micromanager, but to be a leader. That's something. And also, I'm really passionate about culture. And anytime you have a change in leadership, there's a slide in culture. And I think it's important to have somebody that believes in building those positive relationships and taking time to get to know people, taking time to listen to people, and making sure that the climate is psychologically safe so people feel like they can take chances and do things without fear of ridicule or failure. Those are my top 3.
Thank you.
Dr. Bayles, thank you for visiting with us this morning, and it was our pleasure to show you around our campus, so we appreciate you taking time and allowing us to do so. My question is, describe your decision-making style and give us a few examples of strategies you've used in different situations.
My decision-making style, I guess I would say I'm student-centered. I've always been student-centered. Every decision I make focuses on what's best for kids. And if I'm making a decision and it's not the best for kids, then I generally want to kick it to the curb and try something different. I am collaborative in nature. As I said before, I believe the best ideas come when you work as a team. Team building is important to me, so that's important. I also think that I really feel like if I'm not building a positive school culture, if I'm not building relationship, if I'm not working as a team, then I'm not doing my job. So that is my decision-making style.
Good morning. You nervous?
A little bit.
You don't have to be with a boo and a thumper on the school board. You don't have to be nervous.
That's true. I told her to take it.
Absolutely.
Be yourself.
Next question. With funding tight, teachers, administrators, and support staff have taken on more and more responsibilities. What would you do and say to keep them encouraged and their morale up?
Well, I honestly believe when people feel valued and appreciated for the work that they do, they are going to be more likely to come to work, more likely to stay with us, and more likely to do the best that they can to want to meet the high expectations that we set. I think it's important that I am I communicate well, that I'm transparent on whatever decisions that I make so that they are fully informed and they understand the why behind whatever choice we make. I also think that sometimes it's just really nice to thank people and acknowledge the work that they do and celebrate success and let them know that we appreciate what they do and we see the hard work that's done behind the scenes when often in the bigger world, you know, teachers and educators are not valued and they're not seen as the experts that they really are. So I feel like when you do that, whatever financial constraints that we have, they will understand it and they will come together as a team and they will make whatever we need to make happen.
Good morning once again. What do you see as the role of the superintendent as it relates to the school board?
I see the role of the superintendent as the chief executive officer for the district in charge of implementing the policies and procedures set by the board. I think it's very important that there's a partnership between board members and the superintendent. We're a team, and we all have the same goal and the same vision, and that's to do what's best for kids. To make that happen, I think it's important that I clearly communicate with my board, that I'm transparent in any decisions that I make, and that I make sure that it's based on data, and I provide that data to the board so that they can make the good decision. And I think when you do that, the partnership will work, and it will be successful and do what's best for the kids.
Okay. We all agree that our students are our number one focus, so that's good. You find yourself in a respectful disagreement with a board member on a specific issue. How would you proceed?
I think anytime you have a disagreement with anyone, the first thing you have to do is to actively listen to what's being said. As an instructional coach, I spent 8 years learning what active listening was and practicing that and implementing that in a classroom. So I'm very good at that. I think it's important to listen to not only what's being said, but maybe what's not being said, what's the underlying cause or concern. It's important to be empathetic, to understand the other person's point of view. It's also important to understand that maybe my idea is not the best idea and to be open to any change and to work together to solve the problem together. And as long as it's based on data and based on what's best for kids and we're financially able to, then I think together you can solve the problem.
Thank you.
Okay. To what degree do you believe responsibilities should be delegated to principals, and how would you hold them accountable for accomplishing those responsibilities?
As I stated before, I'm not a micromanager, I'm more a big picture. So I think that when you delegate responsibilities to your principals, it shows that you have confidence and trust in their abilities. I think it's important that they have the freedom to make the decisions about the day-to-day operations in their building and what impacts their faculty and staff. As a principal, I wanted that, and I had that, and I would respect that and want that for my principals in this role if I was chosen. As far as holding them accountable, I think it's important that we understand that principals need mentorship, they need support, they need to be able to, if they need professional development or training or whatever to make whatever goal it is that we're working on happen, then we need to provide that for them. As a leader in my current district, I promoted an Aspiring Leadership Academy for my principals so that they had ongoing support and mentorship throughout the district. Even those who wanted to be principals, they came along and we spent 8 weeks together learning and growing together so that they could be ready to take that next step as a principal. I say that to say I think by doing things like that, the principals would willingly want to take some of those responsibilities without overburdening them, because they do have another job, which is to take care of the kids in the building.
Sure.
You just made me think of something, and I needed to add to that question. I'm sorry. Okay, we have a great admin team on our campus, and of course it involves all the principals, assistant principals, and central office. Are you familiar with that, and what approach would you take in being the leader for that?
I am familiar with your admin team. I think that the superintendent would serve as like the instructional learner with them, as a partner. I think we have to constantly be growing and changing as a team. So I would want to continue that. I would want to be able to meet with them frequently, brainstorm, learn together, talk about our core values, work on our strategic plan together, work on goals and our vision and mission together. I don't necessarily think you have to be the only leader, but I think you need to be a big part of it and promote it. Because when it comes down to it, someone will retire and somebody needs to be ready to take that next step. So we need to make sure they're ready.
Thank you.
High performance by students and accountability are priorities for all of us. How would you assess the current student performance and teacher effectiveness in our school system? So how would you assess it?
I would first look at, of course, your assessment data, which I've dug into, but I would look at all of the multi-year assessments, your early years assessments, your college and career ready, graduation rates, discipline, attendance, all of those things first, and look at a 3-year trend. That would be first. And then I would want to look at your professional development that you've had over the past 5 years. What has been mostly requested? That shows there's a huge need. I would want to be in the buildings, looking in the classrooms, talking to the teachers, watching instruction. I would want to look at your ATOT, your Elliott, those observations to see what are areas of strength and weakness and what do we need to focus on. And then I would want to meet with our instructional leaders, each stakeholder group, and get feedback from them in addition to the survey results that we already have. And then together look for trends and patterns and then set a goal for the next steps.
Total involvement.
We're gonna let you come up with much air. Would you like something to drink?
No.
You're good? All right.
Thank you.
Based on what you know of our school system, what do you think is the greatest potential for improvement?
I came up with 2 because academics are very strong. Of course, again, we want to continue that. I do believe that culture and climate will be a focus. It would be in any school system when there's change. So I would want to make sure that that is a priority and begin building relationships day one. And then the second thing that I noticed is the increase in special education population. So I think that would be, it is across the state. So I think that would be an area of focus for me. First, I would want to look at equitable access, making sure that everybody's getting the things that they need. I would want to look at our PST and TSS plan, our procedures to make sure it's aligned and that we're doing what we need to do so there's not any over-referrals. And if there's not, then I want to make sure that the teachers are provided with the training and tools and resources they need to support these students. There are grants, state, federal funds that we can use, attempt to get in order to provide the resources that are needed for this special population.
I got the wrong one. Describe your experience in developing, implementing, and evaluating curriculums and instructional programs to raise student achievement, and what steps would you take to create a culture of high expectations for those you are charged to lead?
The strategies that I would take, of course, are collaborative. So in my current role, that is my job, is to evaluate the curriculum and instruction that our system uses. I work very closely with my instructional coaches, with my principals, classroom teachers, to analyze our data and see where our instructional gaps are. And then we create curriculum maps and pacing guides to align with our course of study standards. We meet we meet every 9 weeks to look and see if our pacing is online, if our assessments are meeting the needs of our students, do we need to adjust, do we need to make some different purchases. Ongoing conversations with instructional coaches has been huge for me. They will provide you on-the-ground information on whether it's working and if it's not. And then the goal is to go into classrooms and see it in action. Is it being implemented to fidelity? Is it having the impact that we need it to have? And if not, what do we need to purchase or do to make it better? And did you ask me if I have an example?
I do not.
Okay.
Would you like to give one?
No, I just didn't know. I can, but no.
I don't know how you remember it all without looking at something.
I didn't do well.
Okay, the next question is, how would you approach the budget process to ensure success during financially challenging times as it relates to specific programs like, but not limited to, and I'm going to do them one at a time, special education?
Well, I can probably do them all together.
Okay, federal programs, career tech.
Yes.
Okay,
So my how I would address them would be the same. You know, I want to make sure that any high impact programs are protected. So I would look at all of our resources and see what money supports the programs that are most impactful for our students, that are making the biggest bang for their buck, and I would want to make sure those funding sources are protected, because that's what we're here for. I think it's important to evaluate your instructional programs routinely so that you're not wasting money on things that are not working. For instance, we had a program that we purchased in my district, and when I went and looked at how many times the teacher utilized it, it was like 8 times per school, and we were paying a large amount of money for that. So why did we really want it? So that's the way I would look at it. I also know that we want to reserve our local money as much as possible. So we want to make sure we're using our state funds to cover as much as we can, and then do our federal, and then reserve our local funds for the things that can't be covered with another funding source.
thank you.
Okay, when a new superintendent is hired, you want to make the transition as smooth as possible for everyone. How would you help both the educational community and the community at large adjust to the new governing style that would come with the leadership of a new superintendent?
For the educational community, I think it's important to be visible, to be seen in the buildings, having conversations, and again, building those relationships from day one. Taking time to get to know everyone that I work with, including the district office, building my team so that we have the relationship where we can make decisions that are best for our kids. I think my role also is to make sure they know that I'm here to support them, not as a dictator, but as a partner, and to make sure that they know that we are a team and we're going to do what's best for kids. For the community at large, I think it's important to be visible in the community. I think that's where you get the communication. You have better conversations at the grocery store, at the ball game, at the hairstylist than you do often in public forums. But I also think it's important to have a more professional means to share with them, such as newsletters and public forums and meetings and things like that as well. Again, I think that my role is to be the bridge maker between the community and the school, and that when you have those relationships, it just opens up more opportunities for the students that we serve.
Thank you.
Now, do you want to drink water? Okay. Based on what you know, how do you think you and your family will adjust and fit in with both our school community and our community at large?
My whole family are educators. So the school community, I think that will just be one of the team. My husband was an educator for 25 years, a coach, and he's retired, golf coach. So if there's a golf course anywhere near here, he will be happy. My daughter teaches in a county school system towards Tennessee. So the small community school systems are our passion. where I worked in Lawrence County, it was rural. We were embedded in the community. We were there for the festivals. We were there for everything. And the same thing with where I am now. It may be a city school systems, but it is a small feeder system, very family oriented, very community based. So I'm used to that. We want to move. We want to live here. We want to go to church here. Want to be a part of all the great things that Haleyville has to offer.
How do you plan to communicate with the public on matters of school concern, and how do you plan to deal with an individual parent who is upset over their child's grade, punishment, or athletic problem?
Well, to communicate with the public, of course, I think that, I don't know what tools you use, but like Blackboard, newsletter, all of those things, public forums, meetings, I would want to communicate through those instruments, making sure that they get it timely, that it's transparent, that it's clear. I think all parents really want to know is what's going on and why are you making the decisions that you're making. So whatever avenue I have to communicate with them, I would. I've used churches before. I have had Parents as Partners committee where parents join and I share the information with them, and then in turn they go out and share it with the community at large, just to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on. As far as a parent being upset, it's similar to anything else. I would want to make sure I listen and I have empathy for them. I ask probing questions to get down to what the root of the problem is. Most of the time, they just want to be heard. They want to protect their baby, and they want to make sure that a decision is being made that is fair and aligned with board policy. I also use, I don't know a lot about how you use social media, but I'm passionate about branding the schools that I serve. I think it's important for the narrative to come from me when I'm talking about the school system. And you can get a lot of bang for your buck when you post the positive things that are happening in your school district on, like, I use Twitter because there's not a lot of response to that. It's just sharing your stuff. Just letting people know the great things that's going on in the district is important because they want you to brag on their students. They want you to brag on what the community is doing.
Pass it over to Jeff, please.
Give us your opinion on the role of technology and the use of technology-driven instructional programs in the classroom. Please include the role of artificial intelligence in your response. If applicable to you, please describe a time when you have led the implementation of new technology in your current district.
I think the role of technology is it's tomorrow. It's what we're preparing our kids to be able to do when they leave school. We're preparing kids for jobs that have not even been invented yet. So as educators, it's our responsibility to expose them to as many of those tools as we can to help them be ready for that next step. I say that in that they also need to have boundaries and guidance and support on how to use it effectively and safely at an appropriate age. So we have a big struggle discussing when is the best time to allow students to use AI. That's been a big conversation. 8th grade, are they too young to use AI? Do they know the rules? Will they use them, fairly? Will they use them for the means that it's supposed to be? So I think it's important that not only our teachers get professional development on how to adequately use it and how to use it effectively to enhance instruction, not replace, but also that our students are provided that same type of guidance. I think AI is the wave of the future, and it can hugely help teachers. It can free up a lot of their time that they spend looking and searching and creating so that they can actually teach. But again, they need the support and the tools to use. They need the professional development for that. I'm a huge technology person. I don't know why I love it so much. You would think I wouldn't. My age, I'm a book person too, but I love technology. So anytime there's a new instructional tech app that comes through, I'm the one that trains. I partner with the teachers. I side by side with them, coach them through it. I do small group sessions with them during collaborative planning time, after school. I'll do Zoom meetings, whatever I need to do. One example, and it's not really a tool, but I'm in charge of Power School Unified Insights because I'm K-12 curriculum. So I have to deal with the literacy law and the numeracy law. And our teachers have to utilize Unified Insights in order to and walk them through each step.
Okay. We have some time. Do we want to ask any additional questions?
I've got one, but I'm sure Donna does as well. So if you closest to you, you can grab it.
This is curriculum and instruction. Being a former teacher, I have to choose this one. Anyway, describe your experience in developing, implementing, and evaluating curriculum and instructional programs to raise student achievement.
Well, I can give you an example. So when I came to the district I'm in now, we had an advanced placement program that served about 16 students. And we had 4 AP courses. When I surveyed the students, I realized there were a lot more students who wanted to participate in advanced placement, but the barriers to that included things like, well, I can't afford to pay for the test. There's not enough teachers to schedule it. Through collaboration with a local community college, retired teachers, working with my principal with scheduling, I was able to give 307 AP exams this year. I provided credit assurance, so it was a fail-safe environment for them to take these tests. So they got credit for the course, whether they passed the test or not. But if they passed the test, they also got an additional credit. So it was a win-win. And then the community college was happy because those kids are going to go to that community college. And then I wrote a CCR grant and used $15,000 of that to pay for the students' tests. So they were successful and they were happy and they got to do it. So that's just an example of one thing that I did in order. I looked at the data and realized they wanted to do it, and then I just found a way to make sure that they got to do it and were successful.
Well, we had 100% graduation rate this year. I guess you are aware of that. We have to brag on ourselves a little bit.
Yes.
They did a fantastic job.
They did.
Anyway, I think that sometimes we see a lot of data, and I know that sometimes it's kind of, but I think the state places a lot of emphasis on that. So I'm glad, thank you for your answer. You seem to be aware of that, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Got any more? Do you have any more?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Well, here, keep it.
No, I want you to ask. You ask this.
But that's not my question.
You ask one.
And we have to do later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Will I have time to ask my question?
Since you're into budgets, you make sure.
Okay. Well, how would you prioritize additions or cuts to the budget?
Well, again, I would want to look at the high impact programs, the things that are making the most bang for the buck for students, and those would be my priority. And then from then, I would want to meet with my district directors, my principals, to see what are their priorities and go from there. I think anything that's impacts student achievement, that promotes workforce development, I want to support those things.
Well, you and I discussed that already on our walkthrough today, of
Yes, sir.
the importance of the money situation.
Yes, sir.
So, thank you for your answer. You got any more questions, Donna, that you'd like for us to ask?
We'll let Brian Vickery ask that one. That's right up this.
This one that's circled right here?
Yeah, number 56.
Just give them Mike a shot.
Yeah.
What should be done at the district level to notify, recruit, and involve parents and interested community members in district activities?
should be done to notify?
What should be done at the district level to notify, recruit, and involve parents and interested community members in district activities?
Communication skills.
Yes, I was trying to think, I think it has to be streamlined, communication that's clear and easily understood by all parent groups. Sometimes in education, we have education jargon, and parents don't necessarily understand what you're asking them. So we need to make sure that it's family friendly and that they understand what we're looking for and what we need. I think it's important for us to reach the parent population that's not touched often, because the more you get parents involved, the higher rates attendance go up, the more community involvement there are, and it directly relates to student achievement. I'm really passionate about communication notebooks. Like, I feel like that at a district level, we need to brainstorm all the different things that we do, and then brainstorm how are we going to get people, come up with a plan, how are we going to get people involved, and then what group needs to be involved in each thing. And by doing that, I think that gets more people engaged in the district and in what we're doing. I also think it's important that we use different venues to host meetings, things that where they're comfortable, not necessarily always on a school campus. It might be at a restaurant, it might be at a church, just something where people feel comfortable coming in. Because once you initially get them on board, once they get to know that you sincerely want them to be involved, they will become involved. And then they'll be more likely, to come to the school. And I'll use an example of my mom. I do come from a high poverty home. My mom went to 8th grade. So as far as her experience with education, it was not her thing. She didn't care for that. But when I was in school, I had a principal who reached out to her because she knew my mom was very artsy. She liked to do crafts. And she asked my mother, would she come and do like an activity with a home ec class? Well, Mom went to the back of the building, went into the home ec class, and she participated teaching the girls how to macrame and crochet and those kinds of things. But just by making that one little connection with that person, my mom became actively involved in my schooling and was very passionate about me finishing education all the way up to my doctorate. So I say that to say it's important that we reach all stakeholder groups, however means there are available, to make sure that they're involved in our school.
Ask something. You don't have anything?
Yeah, I had one more question.
Okay.
Dr. Bayles, my question really, and I'm going to ask every person, but why? What's your driver that keeps pushing you after all the years that you've been teaching and involved, and your husband's retired? Why not take it to the house? So what's your driver and the why? That's what I'm interested in. What's your why?
I think somebody believed in me when no one else did, and I want to be that for somebody else. I used to think that I could only do it in the classroom, and I had somebody support me from behind and say, you're making a very big impact in the classroom, why don't you try this? And they pushed me, and I continue to be pushed. I honestly believe I can impact students' learning. I believe I can help kids be all that they can be. And as long as I still have that passion, I want to keep doing it. If I'm making an impact and I'm helping kids, I want to keep doing it. They say 50's the new 30 or whatever that is, so I got a long way to go.
Thank you very much.
And this question was not on the list, but having worked in the community college system, during my career, many things have moved to the side of technology, centers of technology, and how do you pull academic centers of technology, because they all require high-level academics?
I actually did my dissertation on career tech education, and that's not my area of expertise, but I spent 3 years delving into the world of career tech, and not just that, but dual enrollment, the community college area. But I think it's important that I survey the community to see what's out there and available for our students. We don't want to promote programs where there's no jobs available for our kids in the communities. So I think you do that by building the partnerships with your community colleges and your local businesses. And then you align what you've got going on in your career tech in your classrooms with what's outside.
Because I think about promoting our students as they start thinking careers. 25 years ago, everybody was pushing everybody to a four-year college, and now there's more diversity.
Yes, and I think the workforce development diploma is going to help that a lot, because now students have a choice in which avenue more of a choice. They don't have to take the 4 sciences or the 4 maths if they don't want to. So I think that's going to help a lot.
And lastly, is there any additional information that you would like to share with the community, the board, the people in this room who make everything happen?
I think I would share this. Often when you're looking for someone to fill the role of superintendent, you're looking for someone who has had experience as a superintendent or has served as an assistant superintendent. And while I have not served in the role of assistant superintendent, I would like to note that in a small community, often that position is not available. And I would just say that if you were to speak with my superintendent, who I very much appreciate his support and encouragement with this, he would let you know that I served the role, even though I don't have the title. So he does everything that he can to make sure that I am involved in every aspect of district leadership so that I would be prepared if I were given the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you have it, this is a question for you. I have got to ask this because I think you might like this. Do you have any questions for the board members?
I'm going to ask you a really hard funding question. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. Thank you very much. I appreciate the tour. Your school system is fantastic, and everyone has been so friendly. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to meet you. I know everyone feels the same.
Anything else, gentlemen? Good. Take a deep breath. Have a drink of water. I think we're done.
Thank you.
We finished a little